Moin! Have you ever held a 3D print in your hand and thought, if it was real metal and not just shiny paint, it would be much more realistic and awesome? Then pay attention, I will show you how you can create fantastic shiny metal objects from 3D prints. Let's go! Alright, first you create a 3D print of an object you'd like to cover with metal. In my case, it is the Man in Black Neuralizer. I use a simple translucent red resin for this print, shake it well and pour it into the old slow resin printer. And now enjoy the beauty of printing. When it's finally done, rinse the print well in an isopropanol bath and then cure it. When you look at the prints, you will notice that many areas are still rough or have remnants of support material. Sometimes you can only feel these areas. All this has to be removed and sanded. I use a variety of increasingly fine sanding papers for this. Take your time. The prints should be as smooth as possible before proceeding. And always remember your respiratory protection. You don't want to inhale the dust. Satisfied with the result? Then let's move on. To electroplate an object at all, you must first make it electrically conductive. Here you have several options to choose from. For example, graphite spray. This should not be applied to the primer because the solvent it contains dissolves it. It also works wonderfully with copper or silver conductive spray. Let's see how to apply simple conductive copper paint to the object. This can be copper plated very quickly. Take a small mixing cup and fill it with some conductive paint. Shake it strongly beforehand. Dilute the whole thing properly with acetone or nitro thinner. This paint should then be applied with an airbrush gun. Your printed part must now be absolutely dust-free. Then you can set the compressor to low pressure and spray the object with the conductive paint. Et voila! Now we deposit a good amount of copper onto the conductive paint layer. And this is where the fun really begins. We will now bath electroplate the object. For this, I use a copper electrolyte. You also need a power supply. These copper sheets are the anodes. They are fixed at one and the other end in the bath. Also pay attention to the wiring. I now connect the anodes to the positive pole of the power supply. Now the object must be well degreased. Then rinse it with distilled water. I now place it in the center of the container and connect it to the negative pole of the power supply. Now we regulate the power supply to a maximum of 1 volt and then wait for about 4 hours. After that, we can marvel at the result. A rather thick shiny copper layer has been deposited. Let's try the graphite paint. We still see many small layers here. We sand them all away. After that, everything has to be dust free again. Now spray on the paint. Polish it a lot. A quick test whether the conductivity is okay and off into the electrolyte. Always spectacular. This part is time consuming, but the result is absolutely worth it. With files and sandpaper we now sand all the parts smooth one after the other. After the coarsest grit, it already looks pretty good. I keep sanding with 3 higher grits. I sand the highest 2 with water. It's relatively easy to get extremely high gloss copper objects. And they are not even polished yet. But this is now being done. For this, we use a soft cloth and a metal polish. Shake well and then apply to the bare copper. Allow to dry briefly and then polish to a high gloss. After a thorough rinse we have sparkling copper. To make it chrome colored now, I don't actually recommend chrome but palladium. It's more expensive but easier to handle and easier to plate. You do this with a galvanic pen, a graphite anode and a non-woven sleeve. You connect the galvanic pen to the positive pole and connect the negative pole to your workpiece. Then you adjust the power supply to the specified voltage, impregnate the non-woven with palladium and move in circular motions over the 3D print. After a short while the palladium starts to deposit on the copper. Do this with all parts. There are still some parts I have to airbrush, then I can finally assemble everything. Here it is, the Neuralizer. It is so smooth and reflective, it feels absolutely like metal. Well, it is by now, and I'm very happy with the result. I will probably plate many of my 3D prints with this technique in the future. Give it a try as well. I hope you liked it. If you have comments or anything else, just drop it in the comments. Tschüss!